My greetings. Today's mini grammar tutorial is a summary of all the functions that we have dealt with from tutorial number 1 until tutorial 23. Now we deal with the communication functions. This is a very important, the communication functions of B tenses are highly used in communication and writing. And if you really master this part, you are going to see a great difference in your performance. My advice to you is to study this tutorial more than once. As you can see, I'm using a fixed, non-movable, photo because it's going to be hard, using movable picture, especially with these kind of tables. Okay, now let's start first of all with the present simple. As you can see, I have highlighted the structure. If you remember, the present simple comes in the form of verb plus s or es, studies or works, or base form like study and work. And these are the functions that are related to the present simple. Now we're going to consider 3 examples, and by considering these 3 examples, I would like you to go back and study the functions. Now let's start with the first one. The sun rises from the east. This is something always true or a fact. That's why we use the present simple. I come back from work at 4:30 p.m. I come back home from work at 4:30 p.m. This is something related, something repeated, permanent, regular, habitual, and it has to do with a fixed timetable or schedule. You leave work at 4 and your work is not that far from your house. It takes you half an hour to get there. So this is something almost fixed, 4:30 p.m. The Jordan Valley is the lowest point on earth, and this is something, true. It's a fact. Actually, if you go to the Jordan Valley, you will see how deep it is, how low it is. Okay? Going down to the past simple. Remember that the past simple is used with complete verbs that have nothing to do with, or no connection, the present or importance or significance or results. So I came back from work at 2:30 today. Now it could be like 9:30 in the evening. I arrived to Istanbul at 12:30 last night. Okay, today is the 19th of December. Yesterday was the 18th. So you arrived something in the past. No connection, no importance, no significance, no results. Could be somewhere else right in Istanbul, but not at the airport. Present continuous. The most important function is that it's happening now. It's a temporary action. Workers are working in the backyard of my house. Right now, I'm watching them. They are working. They are not finished yet because it's still incomplete. Now the past continuous. Remember, when we deal with the past continuous, we always deal with 2 actions, one long action and one short action. When I arrived home. When is followed by a short action, a short period, and then long action, we're working. So again, past continuous, we are referring to something that happened in the past. It was temporary, it was incomplete, and there's always a connection. The 2 link words, when and while. Okay, the present perfect. Has or have plus verb 3. Always bear in mind that your past participle can either be what, regular or irregular. Okay, now have eaten or has studied. I started with the irregular first. Okay, now has eaten, that's the irregular, and then has studied the regular. It's a complete action in the past. It's connected to the present. That's what makes it different from the past simple. Past simple is always completed in the past, but it's not connected to the present. If you remember, we discussed this. So again, present perfect is a complete action which is connected to the present. I have just come back from work. Okay? I have already checked in a hotel in Istanbul. Right now, I'm standing at the receptionist desk, and I'm just waiting for them to come and pick up my luggage and take it up to my room. Now the past perfect. Again, this is something very important. Had plus studied, which is the regular, and eaten is the irregular past participle. Again, there are always 2 actions one happens before the other. The first action, which is past perfect, and your second action is past simple. This is a perfect continuous. Okay, now it's an action which happened in the past but continued and still continues in the present. Workers and over a duration. Workers have been working in the backyard of my house for 3 hours. This is the most important part. So where are we now? We are watching. I am actually watching workers who are working in the backyard of my house. Now the past perfect continuous, had plus been ing. Again, when is followed by action 2 arrived, action 2 arrived, and then action 1 had been working. It's always preferable to use the past perfect continuous in actions, action 1 and action 2, the ones that we have discussed earlier. Future simple, again, let me remind you of something. It's either will or be going to. Will move, it's a definite, indefinite action. It could happen, it could not even happen. If I say I will move into a new house next week, maybe I will, maybe I will not. I might postpone, delay it, moving out another week or 2 weeks. It depends, like on the weather. I'm going to move into a house or a new house next week on Monday. The weather is clear. I have already contacted a transportation company that will come and pick up my furniture. Future continuous, will plus be verb ing, it's a duration. Again, it is a duration. I can't meet with you at 5:30. Why? Because you've already decided that you will be working on a project all night, or you could say between 6 and 9 or 6 and 12 all night. Future perfect. Now this is connected to future continuous. Now if you decide to come either way, so I'm telling you, you could come over to my house tomorrow but not tonight. Why? Completion. Because I will have completed the work on the project. You could come tomorrow. Future perfect continuous, this is one of the best actions I ever teach my students. You want to refer to a duration of time and you project yourself to the future, but you also remember the past. So you say, by the 10th of this month, I will have been working on this in this company for 30 years. Maybe you are about to retire, you want to quit your job. So you remember how long you have been working in this company. It's been like 30 years. So you say this one. Okay? Now going down to the charts. The charts have to do with what we have discussed earlier, but with more clarification. Starting with the present simple, it's an action which is frequent, repeated, permanent. As you can see, the chart shows this. Type is past simple, complete, but with no connection to the present, as you can see. Have type present perfect, complete with connection to the present, as you can see. Had type past perfect, again, as I told you before, there are always two actions, action 1 and action 2, as you can see. Will type, that's future. We have, two files, as you can see. One is indefinite, unconfirmed. I'm going to type definite and confirmed. So here you might not do it, here you are going to do it. I'm working on a project, present continuous, temporary, happening at the time of speaking. Right now, what time is it? It's 5:35 here in Amman, Jordan. I was working, again, you are referring to also to duration, but it was a temporary action in the past. You remember what you did yesterday, and you remember exactly how much time it took you to finish an action. Let's say from 3 to 6. I was working on a project from 3 to 6. It was a temporary action. It was happening. While I have been working on a project for 3 hours until now, as you can see, the action is still happening now. You've been working, and you are still working. I had been working, again, just like was working. You are referring to the past, and you remember how long it took you to work between a time and a time, like from 12 o'clock in the afternoon until 9:30 in the night. We say had been working, a long duration. I will be working, you are projecting yourself to the future. Now it's 5:30. Listen to this one. You are looking at the future and you are thinking about what you are going to be doing, let's say from 7 to 10 at night. It's not 7 yet. 7 to 10. Say, I'll be working on a project. I will have finished working again. We said 7 to 10. Let's say that someone is going to call you. Okay, you tell him, okay, you could call me at 10:30 because I will have finished working on the project by that time, completion. Finally, we have been working on the project again. This is something you're projecting yourself. You know that for sure that the project is a bit long and it takes about a week to finish it. Today is Saturday, so what do you say? Today is Saturday. Listen, today is the 19th of December. Say, I will have been working on the project by next Saturday for 8 days. I will have been working on this project by next Saturday, like for 8 days. Now this is an exercise. I would like you to always examine the first sentence, because this one is going to give you meaning of the sentences to come. You own a big house in the capital city. So do you say I live in a big house or I'm living? Is this something repeated or temporary? You own a big house, so it's repeated, permanent, regular. That should be the present simple. Your company is a large construction company. Okay. So do you employ more than 50 workers, or you are employing more than 50 workers? This is something repeated. That should be the present simple and not the present continuous, which is temporary. You've been appointed as a manager until the general manager returns from his business tour. This is not your actual job. You're doing this something temporary. You're doing it temporary. So I am working as a manager, not I work as repeatedly. The company bus is waiting for you outside. So, has come or came, is it the present perfect or past simple? So it should be the present perfect. Why? Because you are connected to the present. It's waiting for you outside. Let's say that you missed the bus. Let's say that you missed the bus. Okay, you missed the bus. So you're not connected to the present anymore. So you should be using came, past simple, not has come, present perfect. It was a busy week. Now you are at home, you are enjoying your weekend. So do you say we had, past simple, or have had, present perfect? So it should be past simple, not have had, present perfect, because you're not connected to the present anymore. You just come out of the meeting room. You're connected to the present. You are connected to the present. So you met with the chairman of board. You have met. It should be have met, present perfect, not past simple. And the last one, you just signed an agreement, an important agreement with the trade union. You are in a press conference, present perfect, have agreed, or agreed, past simple, should be have agreed because you are connected to that present. And these are the answers for all the exercises that we've done earlier. Thank you for being with me today. Now our next tutorial is going to be also about functions, but each function separately, not like these functions, time functions. When to use this or when to use that. Thank you very much for being with me today.